Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare wheat pennies. These classic coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties, their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today. We've got a fascinating journey through time and metal, diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American numismatic history, the 1917 wheat penny. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just discovering the joy of coin hunting, you're going to want to hear every detail about this rare piece of American heritage. Make sure you stick around until the very end, because we're revealing just how much this little copper coin can be worth. Let's just say it's a figure that will absolutely blow your mind. Let's step back into the early 20th century, specifically the year 1917. The United States was in the thick of World War I, a time of global upheaval and transformation. Amid the chaos and courage of that era, the U.S. Mint quietly continued producing coins for everyday transactions. But among those ordinary coins, something extraordinary was created, the 1917 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin may look like just another penny to the untrained eye, but in the world of collectors, it holds a place of high regard. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny features the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that debuted in 1909 and still graces the penny to this day. The reverse showcases two wheat stalks curving inward, a simple yet elegant tribute to America's agricultural roots. But what makes the 1917 edition so special? Let's get into the details. First off, age alone makes this coin a historical artifact. It's over a century old, meaning every 1917 penny that still exists has survived 2 world wars, the Great Depression, the moon landing, and more. That's already impressive. But beyond its age, it's the rarity and condition that truly set this coin apart. Most 1917 wheat pennies were produced in large numbers. Tens of millions were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, with smaller quantities at Denver and San Francisco. But very few have survived in pristine condition. Over the years, most have suffered from circulation wear, scratches, corrosion, and fading. Finding a 1917 wheat penny in crisp, uncirculated condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Or better yet, a copper treasure chest in your attic. And then there are the errors. Oh yes, this is where things get really exciting for collectors. You see, minting errors can turn a regular coin into a rare gem, and the 1917 wheat penny is no exception. Some coins from this year were struck with what's known as a double die obverse. That means the design on the front of the coin, Lincoln's face, the date, and the motto, "In God We Trust," was accidentally stamped twice, but slightly misaligned. The result? A shadowy, doubled image that makes the coin look almost like it's vibrating with history. This doubling error was not caught during production, and only a limited number of these error coins ever made it into circulation. Today, they are highly sought after by collectors. If you're lucky enough to spot a 1917 wheat penny with doubling on the date or the lettering, you could be holding something incredibly valuable. Other rare features to look for include off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and even unusual toning. All of these quirks can increase the value of a 1917 penny dramatically, especially if the coin is in exceptional condition. Collectors adore this coin not just for its potential value, but because it represents a powerful piece of American history. Holding one is like holding a moment frozen in time, a tangible link to the year when American soldiers were crossing the Atlantic to fight in World War I, when Woodrow Wilson was president, and when silent films were still the height of entertainment. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to have a 1917 wheat penny with a double die obverse, in top-notch, uncirculated condition, free from blemishes, nicks, or wear, you may be sitting on a miniature fortune. Such a coin has been known to sell for as much as $85,000. Yes, you heard that right. That's $85,000 for a coin that once bought a stick of gum or a postage stamp. It's the kind of discovery that keeps collectors searching, metal detector hobbyists digging, and estate sale hunters checking every old jar of change. So, if you've got a 1917 penny tucked away somewhere, take a close look. Inspect it carefully. Check the date, the lettering, the condition. You never know when you might uncover a rare error or stumble upon a coin that defies the odds. And if you don't have one yet, don't worry. This is the perfect time to start your coin collecting journey. Top 2, we're unlocking the secrets behind a humble piece of copper that could change everything for you. The 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny from the United States of America. Yes, that's right. A penny from over 8 decades ago could be sitting quietly in your change jar, holding more history and more value than you ever imagined to settle in. Because this story isn't just about money. It's about hidden treasure, historical legacy, and the thrill of discovery. Whether you're an expert numismatist or just someone who loves the mystery of old coins, this is one video you don't want to miss. Let's rewind to the year 1941. The world was on the brink of global transformation. World War II was raging in Europe and Asia, and although the United States hadn't officially entered the war yet, tensions were rising. At home, Americans were preparing for uncertain times, and the U.S. Mint continued producing currency for a growing and mobilizing economy. Among the many coins minted that year was the 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny. At first glance, it might look just like every other penny from that era. But beneath its simple copper surface lies a fascinating story, and in some cases, a shockingly high value. This coin carries the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. His thoughtful, steady gaze has appeared on the penny since 1909, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. On the reverse, two elegant wheat ears flank the words 1 cent and United States of America, a beautiful and symbolic nod to America's agricultural strength and unity. Now, millions of these coins were struck in 1941. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all produced them, which means finding a 1941 penny isn't rare in itself. But, and here's the twist, not all 1941 wheat pennies are created equal. Some carry hidden traits that make them extremely rare and, in the eyes of collectors, incredibly valuable. That let's talk about what truly sets these coins apart. Condition and errors. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A heavily worn 1941 penny might only be worth a few cents, but one in mint state, meaning it has never been in circulation, shows no signs of wear, and maintains its original shine, is a different story altogether. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A 1941 wheat penny graded MS, 65 or higher instantly becomes a desirable collector's item. But even more thrilling than condition are the rare mint errors that make certain 1941 pennies worth a small fortune. One of the most famous and valuable types is the double die error. This happens when the coin die strikes the planchet twice, but in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect on the design. On the 1941 penny, this can appear in the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," or the word liberty. It's a subtle but powerful detail, and collectors go wild for it. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during minting, and repunched mint marks, where the small D or S on the coin has been stamped more than once, creating a shadow-like doubling. These small errors are like birthmarks, making each affected coin one of a kind. Another fascinating detail is die cracks and cuts. These are raised lines or blobs that result from damage to the die itself. Some collectors view these as imperfections, but many see them as charming quirks that make the coin stand out in a sea of uniform pieces. And here's where the thrill really kicks in. You might be holding on to one of these special coins without even realizing it. That unassuming penny at the bottom of your drawer? It could be a hidden gem. All it takes is a careful eye, maybe a magnifying glass, and a little knowledge, just like the kind you're getting in this video. The 1941 wheat penny is more than just a piece of money. It's a portal to another era. It was there during the rise of radio, the golden age of Hollywood, and the eve of America's entry into World War II. It jingled in the pockets of Americans who were buying newspapers, going to the movies, or sending letters across the country. It's not just copper, it's culture. Now, if you happen to have one of these coins with a rare minting error, preserved in beautiful, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at something truly extraordinary. So here it is. The moment you've all been waiting for, a 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny with a rare double die obverse, in exceptional mint state condition, has been known to sell for as much as $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, just 1 cent, can be worth $81,000. This is what makes coin collecting so magical. It's not just about monetary value. It's about discovering hidden stories, holding a piece of history in your hands, and maybe, just maybe, stumbling upon something rare enough to change your life. The next time you're sorting through loose change or flipping through an old coin album, keep your eyes peeled. That plain-looking penny from 1941 might be more than just a coin. It might be a golden opportunity. Top 3, we're diving deep into a coin that's small in size but massive in historical value and collector appeal. The 1945 United States wheat penny. At first glance, it might look like just another old copper coin, but don't be fooled. This penny carries a powerful story, a glimpse into the past, and for a select few, a truly astonishing value. So grab your magnifying glass, take a seat, and stick with me until the end. You won't believe how much this little coin could be worth. Let's rewind the clock to the year 1945. World War II was finally coming to an end. Victory in Europe had been declared, and American troops were returning home. The world was celebrating peace, mourning losses, and entering a new era of hope. In the midst of this powerful moment in history, the U.S. Mint was producing the last wartime coins, including the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin, struck in bronze with a mixture of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, became part of everyday life during a time when resources were precious and every cent mattered. People used these pennies to buy war bonds, send letters, or buy candy at the corner store. What makes it even more special is that it reflects the end of an era, right before major changes would affect American coinage, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse of the 1945 wheat penny features the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln. His steady profile, dignified and timeless, had been gracing the penny since 1909, and it remains a powerful symbol of unity, leadership, and resilience. On the reverse side, we see 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the famous motto E pluribus unum. Simple, clean, patriotic. Now, millions of 1945 wheat pennies were minted across the United States. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all played a role. So yes, the 1945 penny is not rare in general circulation. But here's where the magic begins. While most of these coins are common, a very small number contain rare features and minting errors that turn them into absolute goldmines for collectors. One of the most desirable errors in the 1945 wheat penny is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts ever so slightly between impressions, creating a doubled image on the coin's surface. This is most noticeable in the lettering. Look closely at the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date itself. If you spot any doubling in these areas, you could be holding a treasure far more valuable than 1 cent. Another type of error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting, leading to part of the design being off-center or even cut off. Depending on the degree of the misalignment, these errors can be extremely rare and highly valued by collectors. Then there's the mysterious repunched mint mark, known as an RPM. This is where the mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco, was punched more than once in slightly different positions. On a 1945 wheat penny, finding a repunched mint mark can instantly raise the value of your coin, especially if it's combined with high quality or other unusual features. But wait, there's even more. Some 1945 wheat pennies were struck on planchets intended for other coins or were minted using slightly different metal compositions due to leftover wartime blanks. These rare transitional errors are like winning the lottery in the coin world. Even seasoned collectors go wild trying to find them, and they're extremely hard to come by. Let's not forget about the condition of the coin. A 1945 penny that's been in circulation for decades, scratched, worn down, and faded, may not be worth much. But a pristine, uncirculated coin, especially one that's been graded at MS 65 or higher, can command serious attention and top dollar. The luster, the detail, the sharpness of the features, these all matter deeply to collectors and appraisers. And if a rare error is found on a coin in that kind of pristine condition, that's the perfect storm. That's when a seemingly ordinary penny becomes a legendary find. You see, for coin collectors, the 1945 wheat penny is more than a coin. It's a time capsule. It's a story frozen in copper. It represents a time of transition, from war to peace, from rationing to rebuilding. Holding this coin is like holding a piece of the American spirit from 1945, and that's something you can't put a price on unless, of course, you can. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to have a 1945 wheat penny with a double die error, in near-perfect uncirculated condition, authenticated and graded by a professional service, then listen closely, because it could be worth as much as $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. $78,000 for a single copper penny from the end of World War II. That's the incredible power of coin collecting. It's not just about spare change, it's about hidden history, rare beauty, and the potential for life-changing discovery. Who knows? That dusty old penny in your drawer could be the very one that takes your collection and your wallet to the next level. Top 4, we're taking a deep dive into a small, copper coin that might be hiding in your pocket change, your grandfather's drawer, or buried in that old coffee can in your attic. It's the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that millions of people have overlooked, but one that could secretly be worth an incredible fortune. Now, if you're thinking, what could possibly be so special about a penny from 1950? You're in for a big surprise. Because behind this unassuming little coin is a story of history, minting mysteries, and rare errors that could make your heart race. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this penny isn't just worth 1 cent. It could be worth $75,000. Let's travel back to the year 1950. The world had just come out of the turmoil of World War II, and the United States was entering a new era. The economy was growing, families were settling into suburban life, and a sense of optimism was in the air. At the same time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Lincoln wheat penny. This coin, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already been circulating for over 40 years. Featuring the strong, solemn profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 symbolic wheat ears on the back, it wasn't just currency. It was a tribute to American resilience and strength. Now, the 1950 wheat penny came from 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. And while millions were produced, there's a twist, because not all 1950 wheat pennies are equal. Some have hidden traits that make them highly valuable, especially to collectors who know what to look for. Let's talk about what makes certain 1950 pennies rare and expensive. First up, minting errors. These are the holy grail of coin collecting. In a world where precision is everything, an error becomes a unique signature, a rare mistake that instantly sets a coin apart. For the 1950 wheat penny, there are a few errors that drive collectors absolutely wild. Point 1 of the most famous is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin is struck twice, causing a slight doubling in the text or design. Imagine looking closely and seeing the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" slightly doubled. It's not something the average person would spot, but for trained eyes, it's a golden opportunity. These coins are rare and fetch huge prices at auctions. Another key error to watch out for is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. This occurs when the mint mark, whether D or S, is punched more than once in slightly different spots. On a 1950 D wheat penny, for instance, you might see the faint shadow of a second D. It might seem small, but to a collector, it's everything. And then there's the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting, leading to a design that's shifted or partially missing. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine a 1950 penny where part of Lincoln's head is cut off by the edge of the coin. It sounds like a mistake, but to collectors, it's a masterpiece. But the value isn't just in the error, it's also in the condition. A coin that's been tossed in drawers, scratched by keys, or corroded over time will be worth far less. But a 1950 wheat penny that's been preserved in mint state, with its original luster, no wear, and sharp details, can reach incredible prices, especially when combined with one of the rare errors we've just mentioned. Coin grading plays a big role here. Professional coin graders use a scale from 1 to 70, and a coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered exceptionally well preserved. When that level of perfection is combined with a rare error, the price skyrockets. What's also exciting for collectors is the history behind the 1950 penny. It marks a time when America was transitioning from war to peace, from rationing to prosperity. Holding this coin is like holding a piece of that hopeful era. It jingled in the pockets of soldiers returning home, young couples buying their first homes, and kids saving for their first bicycles. It's more than a coin. It's a snapshot of a pivotal time in American life. And here's the most exciting part of all. Out there, among all the common 1950 pennies, are a few that have all the right ingredients: rare mint errors, pristine condition, and a clear historical story. And when those coins show up at auction, the results are truly jaw-dropping. So, if you have a 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny, don't overlook it. Take a closer look. Examine the mint mark. Look for doubling. Check the strike. If you think you've found something special, consider getting it professionally graded. It might be one of the rare few that collectors are willing to pay a small fortune for. And speaking of fortune, are you ready for the big reveal? A 1950 wheat penny with a rare minting error in flawless, uncirculated condition can sell for as much as $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. One penny, 1 cent, $75,000. That's the thrill of coin collecting. That's why people search through old jars, estate sales, and inherited boxes of change. Because buried among the ordinary are a few extraordinary coins, just waiting to be found. Top 5, we're talking about the incredible 1954 United States wheat penny. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because this tiny coin, sitting quietly in old jars and forgotten drawers across the country, might just be worth tens of thousands of dollars, if you know what to look for. Now, the 1954 wheat penny might seem ordinary at first. Produced just a few years after World War II, it was part of everyday American life. Children used it to buy candy, adults used it for bus fare or coffee, and it jingled in the pockets of soldiers returning from the Korean War. It was part of a time when America was booming, growing, and changing. But for collectors today, this penny is a time capsule, and in rare cases, a treasure chest. Let's start with the basics. The 1954 wheat penny features the same iconic design that collectors know and love. On the obverse, we see the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a tribute to one of the most respected leaders in American history. On the reverse, you'll find the two wheat stalks framing the bold words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum. This classic design was in use from 1909 until 1958, making every wheat penny part of a larger legacy. But not all wheat pennies are created equal, and the 1954 edition is hiding some very valuable secrets. Let's talk mint marks. The 1954 wheat penny was struck at two locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which did, represented by a small D under the date. While both versions are collectible, the Denver Mint is where things get especially interesting. Why? Because this is where some of the most valuable minting errors have been discovered. The first error to watch for is the repunched mint mark, often abbreviated as RPM. This happens when the D was punched more than once into the die, usually in a slightly different position. To the naked eye, it might look like a blurry or doubled mint mark. But to a collector, it screams rarity, and rarity means value. Then there's the double die error, a favorite among serious collectors. In this case, the die that stamps the coin design onto the blank shifts slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect. It's most commonly visible on the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. If you ever spot clear doubling on your 1954 penny, do not ignore it. You may have a coin that's worth far more than pocket change. Another fascinating and valuable variety is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is misaligned during minting, causing the design to be shifted or even partially missing. The more off-center the coin, and the more detail still visible, the more desirable it becomes. And let's not forget about the ultra-rare wrong planchet error. In this scenario, a 1954 penny may have been accidentally struck on a blank mint for a different denomination, such as a dime or a foreign coin. These errors are exceptionally rare and almost never seen in circulation. But when discovered, they can fetch extraordinary prices at auction. Now, even without an error, condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. The grading scale ranges from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS70. A 1954 penny that has been kept in near-perfect condition, sharp edges, full original luster, no signs of wear, can command significant value all on its own. Think about it. Millions of 1954 pennies were made. They've been spent, dropped, scratched, worn, and tossed aside. Finding one that survived the decades in pristine condition is no small feat, and when that condition is paired with a rare mint error, that's when we enter the realm of big money coins. And here's what makes this story so thrilling. These coins are still out there. They're in old boxes, dusty drawers, inherited coin jars, forgotten piggy banks. You might even have one in your home right now without realizing its true worth. That's why collectors and hobbyists check every coin carefully, searching for that one extraordinary find that it's not just about money. It's about the excitement of discovery, the history in your hands, and the chance to connect with a piece of the past in a truly tangible way. That's what makes numismatics so exciting. Every coin has a story, and some are just waiting to be told. Now, after all that, you're probably wondering, how much could the rarest version of a 1954 wheat penny actually be worth? Well, here it is. The moment you've been waiting for, a 1954 wheat penny, struck with a rare error and preserved in immaculate, mint-state condition, has sold for an astounding $73,000. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny. $73,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just spare change, it's hidden treasure. And who knows? The next time you check your change or sort through an old coin jar, you might uncover a piece of history worth a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and you want more stories about valuable coins, minting secrets, and the surprises hiding in everyday change, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a discovery. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and happy collecting.